My name is Tanya Cosmini, and I am the broker and owner of Realty One Group Elevate, and I want to welcome you all back to our podcast here called Elevate with Us. We have a repeat guest. What could be better than that? That's so exciting for Bruce to be back with us. So last time Bruce was here, he was telling us about his story and kind of where that brought him to now, which is what we're going to talk about next. So something you might not really know about Bruce is even though he's kind of a rock star at creating the life he wants to live financially, he now has to take that knowledge to help other people. So can you tell us a little bit more about that, Bruce?
Yeah, so I briefly mentioned this last time. Over the last 8 years, once I got this personal finance knowledge, I got passionate about spreading it because I realized everyone needs it. So over the last 8 years, I've just been sort of informally coaching people that I worked with, that approached me, and really sort of sharpening that ability to be able to bring someone through the process that I used to become successful, right? So there's been multiple iterations of this, and you know, through time, I got better at it, and then so my wife and I have formally created our coaching company, which is called Align Money Mastery.
Awesome.
And so what it really is what we call it personal training for your finances. You know, you hire someone to train you at the gym
Sure.
for your physical fitness.
Yeah.
We're exactly the same thing for your personal finances.
That's so funny. I bet you most people don't think that it's something they need that much help with.
Yeah.
At all. And I don't think that, I mean, they talk about this all the time. They don't teach it in school. What's funny is they did it at my high school. It was called personal money management. I still remember my teacher, Mr. Hoyt. And I loved it. Not that this is really relevant. I don't know how many people really keep a checkbook. They probably should, and maybe you teach it. But he taught us all how to keep a checkbook.
Yeah.
And unless your parents taught you, which I don't think many do,
Okay.
you have no idea how to, you know, balance it and make sure that checks get cleared, to make sure there's money and things like that. So if someone, or I guess, let me back up. Who does this pertain to? Like,
Yeah.
Who do you want to reach? Or honestly, it sounds like it pertains to everybody, but who do you think really needs to talk to you? Is there like a debt limit? Like they have a certain amount of percentage of debt, or they're trying to save for something? Who needs this?
And so we've established that everyone needs to know how to manage money. Our world runs on the ability to have and spend money to achieve really anything. You can't get in your car and drive down the street without being able to put $1 in your gas tank.
Right.
So literally to leave your house, you need $1, right? So we've established that money is necessary. So by that definition, everyone needs this. So more specifically though, you know, I went from having $600 in my account, right, at 17, all growing our wealth all the way now to 1.8 million, you know, with rental properties, et cetera. So I can help anyone who is at any point in that continuum, right? If you were someone who, you know, manages a $20 million business and wants to know how to grow a scale beyond, we're not the best people for you, right? Because I haven't been there. I can't coach someone who's managing a $20 million a year business, right?
Got it.
However, up until the point to which I've achieved, I can help you get to the next step, right? So
Sure.
to answer your question, you know, we have two main type of people that approach us. Number one is the person who's really struggling, the person who, when they lay their head on their pillow at night, is worrying about the money in their account, right? What they don't have.
Yeah.
Money cuts into their relationships, how food tastes to them. You know, it really gets into every part of their life where they're not enjoying anything. They're stressed out constantly.
Right.
So that's one type of person that comes to us, and we can absolutely help with that. It doesn't matter where you are. The second type of person is like, I have a great job, we're double income, no kids, or we have kids, and we have this money sitting in a savings account, we don't know what to do with it. So those are the two really entry points to our program, to where you're either struggling or you don't know how to go from saving money to investing money and creating passive income.
It's so funny. Those are so different.
Oh yeah,
They're
totally
like
is.
super, super different. For some reason, I expected them to be somewhat similar. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But they're super. I love that expression, double income, no kids is
Yeah,
dink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember someone said they were dink, and I had to Google it because I didn't know what it meant.
Great place to be. We're currently still there in our personal lives.
You're dink.
We're dinks.
So what can I be? Because I only have my kids every other week, and I'm single.
Single income double kids would be Sid.
But I only have kids every other week, so I'm like, so like some weeks I'm single income, no kid. Oh wait, yeah, single income, no kids, and then sometimes I'm single income, 2 kids.
So Tink, we'll have to figure that out later off camera. You're somewhere in there.
I'm somewhere. I just made it up. So if if someone is trying to save up for something and
Sure.
that's their goal, is that something you can help them with? And it could be that they have kids or they want investment property. They have, you ever heard of Ford? Talking to people, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Finding out. So it was one of the best things I ever learned. If I could remember what book it was from, that'd be great. I'd credit it right now. I don't remember what it came from. But it's a way to have conversations with people, especially
Sure.
if you're kind of awkward and you don't know what to say to people and you're in a relationship business like we are. And so not that you're trying to qualify them, but it's a very easy way to move the conversation. So you find out, are they married? Are they divorced? Are they single? Do they have kids? What's their deal? What's their occupation? What they like to do for fun, and then their dreams. And I feel like all of that is like super pertinent to your passion, which is so cool.
Yeah, and people normally come to us with a certain question. Like a good example is we had someone take our whole class that came to me and said, hey, I've got $90,000 and I have no idea what to do with it.
They have no idea what to do with $90,000?
Yeah, because it's just sitting in a savings account.
Sitting in a savings account?
So, but here's the thing. Like, yes, they're in a different position of someone who can't pay their bills and is drowning in debt.
Right.
However, we start with the fundamentals. In fact, we start before the fundamentals, which kind of speaks to what you're talking about, which is the dream part. Like, what do you want your ideal life to look like? Because that really determines how we even start this, right? So if your ideal life is retiring as soon as possible or becoming financially independent as soon as possible in your 30s, we're going to plan differently than someone who has a great career and they love working into their 70s, right?
Right.
We really, to answer your question, people ask us specific financial questions because they think that we will be able to help them. And I believe it's irresponsible for me to tell that person when they come to me that says, I have $90,000 sitting in a checking or a savings account. What do I do with it? I don't know if you have debt. I don't know what your plans are.
Right, it's a loaded question.
So exactly. So
funny,
I believe it's irresponsible for us to just give this advice in a vacuum.
Cool.
So the conversation goes to like, let's take it back and we take you through our process, right? So if you have a specific question, obviously ask, right? But my answer is probably going to be more about the fundamentals, so I can build up to actually answering your question to see if you're in a place to really be thinking the way you're thinking. Because truthfully, like you said, this isn't taught, right? So I think again, in the information age that we're in, people pick up their phones and they see these people who are, traveling around the world making money online, okay? And this is now the thing I want to do most. However, there's so many things that build up to your ability to do that. That's where I start. I start way back here.
I see. So let's just say someone's wondering about your class and they want to know what it looks like. It sounds like it's specific to each person. What's a brief overview of the time commitment for somebody to see if this is something they want to do?
Yeah, so it's called there's two products. So the Aligned Money Mastery full 3-month mastery course. So the big one, the full one is 3 months long. And it's literally like personal. You wouldn't expect to go to the gym with a personal trainer one day and to be buff the next day. Like, that's silly. And
I want that.
Right. Well, but that would be exactly right. And that's what people want, right? To make our class a Saturday seminar would make no sense, right? We're digging through like the what we call financial generational trauma that you've been handed. And, most of our students are mid-20s, early 30s. And so they've gone 20 or 30 years understanding this value system about money. So we have to tackle that. We have to tackle relationships. One of the leading causes of divorce is financial troubles.
Right.
So we address that. And my wife's specialty in this is I'm more the logistical, like numbers guy. She's the relationship side because she came in when I was already doing the system that I've been doing since 2009.
Okay.
With budgeting, everything. And she sort of took her life and found a way to interweave it with mine. So she knows she has that sort of outside perspective to join it. So
sure,
we have complementary strengths when it comes to this. So it's a 3-month class is the full version. And what that looks like is you have 2 one-on-one times with us during the month. We call them accountability sessions, and that's 1 hour long. So a typical month, week 1 is an accountability session. We do your budget with you. So our system is based on zero-based budgeting, and this is a big topic, and we will sit with you, and you don't have to be in Jacksonville or in Florida. It could be all over the country where we have students all over the country. This is all over Zoom, right? So it's 1-to-1, meaning it's me and my wife and you, if you're single, or you and your significant other. Okay. And we literally help you budget. We walk you through how to budget with your specific dollars. Okay.
So do you have them share with you how much they were spending on? Is there homework before they meet with you?
There's homework. Yeah, there's homework.
So
it's not a lot, but we use a tool called mint.com, and we touched on it last episode.
Oh, yeah.
But Mint.com is a free resource. I've been using since 2009. It's owned by the company Intuit, which has TurboTax and Credit Karma, so super safe. And literally, you link all your accounts to this, and it pulls every transaction in.
So there really isn't homework because it does it for you.
It does it for you. You have to sign up, and then you have to go back 3 months and
God forbid you sign up.
And then you just have to go back 90 days and sort of make sure all the transactions fit into the right categories, because that gives us an idea like, how does Tanya spend her money? So we can actually start to make a budget for you, right?
Okay.
So that's week 1. That's a 1-hour meeting on Zoom. Week 2 is a group class. So what we do over the 3-month period is we teach 6 like 75 to 90-minute classes that cover different big topics, from goal setting to types of accounts, like what is a brokerage account, what is a traditional IRA. We do every type of account.
Oh, wow.
And then we go to investing 101, which is not like, ooh, go invest in this thing. This is sort of the conversation we had last time, active versus passive income, financial gravity, things like that, concepts that if you grasp them, you can use them daily, right?
Sure.
And so we look at the classes as like the building blocks of information you need to master your money. So literally in these classes, over 3 months, you get 6 classes. It covers all the information you need to master your money. Like, you can make decisions going forward when your life inevitably changes about how to manage money. You can navigate the stock market. You can even start real estate investing. Like, we cover everything. So on a typical month, week 1's budgeting. Week 2 is a group class. Week 3 is what we call an optional accountability meeting, which is like, you have a specific thing you heard in a class or it's happening in your life. You come in, you have an hour with us. We can talk about anything. The hour is yours to use.
Got it.
And then week 4 is another group class, and then repeat for 3 months.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's really cool. So a lot of stuff in there. So the number one thing I want to understand is, and I'm going to get the word wrong, like financial trauma or something.
Yeah.
What is the word? Do you use?
So financial generational trauma. We talk about
financial generational. That's a lot of words.
Yeah. Well, we
Big
talk
words.
freely in our society about, having, God forbid, sexual trauma, like childhood trauma, for whatever, things that we've carried with us. We're formed mostly who we are by age 6, right? So,
including money stuff?
Yes, absolutely. There's a Cambridge study that came out that said your habits around money are formed by that age.
By your 6 years old?
And so mom and dad fighting about money, how you grew up, how you viewed yourself socioeconomic status-wise to your friends when you're in grade school, that gets ingrained.
Really?
And that's where we start. We talk about with our people that join our class, like, how is money talked about in your house? And what everyone says is like, I only knew that money, like, people fought about money. And what happens is that ingrains this scarcity mindset and this taboo nature around talking about money. And what happens then, what we call generational, is you go into relationships thinking money's taboo, thinking a scarcity mindset, and you can't relate to someone in this world without knowing how to talk about money. It's extremely extreme, because it like is pervasive in every part of your life. So it turns into couples counseling really fast.
I was just gonna say, this seems like personal. I wonder if like people cry a little. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like, just because they didn't realize that was causing them, how much it was affecting their life. They had
100%.
No idea that mom and dad always saying, hey, we can't afford that, made them feel like they can't afford anything. I just made that up. I don't know if that's if your parents consistently told you, hey, I know you want to go skiing this weekend, but we can't because we can't afford it.
Yeah.
They therefore feel they can't afford anything.
Yeah.
And then do they hoard money? Like how does this manifest? Or does it manifest differently? I just asked a big question.
It is kind of a big question, but how money is talked about and how conversations around money is treated in your house when you're young determines how you relate to money. So whatever that looks like.
Okay.
Right. So that's why we get people talking about it, because then I can understand how people view money, and then I know how to coach you through it. Right. So if a lot of we have a couple, I'm not going to name their names, but we have a couple who he grew up super scarce, like they never had enough money for anything. Right.
Okay.
And then his wife grew up as the daughter of a politician. And so he was very out there. It was very showy. So think about the mismatch between their two ideals and how that, not only alone how they view money, but together it's so different. And so fast forward to now, we're only halfway through our current summer session. And he literally texted me. He said, my wife turned to me in the car and she said that I am so glad we did this. First of all, I wish we would have done it sooner. And now I can spend without guilt. And I never thought I would be able to do that. So rewind, because their value systems were mismatched, they couldn't talk about money. Anytime that the subject would be broached, it caused a fight. So think about the ongoing returns that can't be quantified in their relationship, because now they have a system around which to communicate about money. That's what this is about.
So it's so funny. So it's personal finances, but it's so much more than that.
It's very, very, very personal.
Really, really
Yeah.
personal.
Oh, yeah.
That's so interesting. So what have you found to be the biggest challenge when trying to coach people through their finances?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the biggest challenge is getting people to align, and that's why we called it Aligned Money Mastery, because alignment comes in with the way we coach and our conversations so much, to align people's daily habits with their long-term goals, right?
Wow.
So literally, we can quantify just about any goal, right? I had someone ask me once, I want to be a missionary in other countries. And he's like, well, that's not a financial goal. I said, well, okay, let's think about it. Like, to be a missionary, you have to pay for flights to get to those countries, right? Okay, flights cost money, right?
Sure.
He's like, well, I'm not going to pay for it. My church will pay for me. I was like, how many fundraisers do you have to raise enough money to reach this many people? So the point is, we can take big goals, and people, it's free to dream. I can sit in bed and dream about whatever, but where it starts costing money is the daily activities I have to actually do to get towards that dream. And that we give people clarity around what they need to do every single day to get to this big dream they have. We help them set these goals, and then we help put dollars and systems behind them hitting them. So the hardest thing is, because we're coaching adults. We're coaching adults, or I can't look at you and be like, Tanya, you shouldn't have spent this dollar at this place. We don't do that, because that's scarcity mindset.
So you're not going to criticize us for going to Starbucks?
Absolutely.
Just a little bit?
Absolutely not. But what we are going to say is, and which is why we start with goal setting and the things about money relationships, are we set goals, we write them down. And so in the future, I ask permission. I say, in the future, I'm going to refer back to this and be like, do you want the goals that we agreed to more than that thing that you did this week?
Right.
So, and it's more of a giving them the information to make an informed decision on their own. So that's the biggest thing, because we have had people fail out. We have had people not ready for the amount of accountability and change that their life requires day to day to hit their goals.
I mean, it's incredible. This sounds to me like it's very rewarding.
Yes.
There might be like a little bit of frustration, right? Because I have found that adults, they like appreciate accountability from like far away, right? Like they like are happy to hear it, but not do it. I don't know if there's probably an expression around that.
Sure.
So after the 12 weeks, is there any additional follow-up that comes with it? Like a year later, 6 months later, are you available via email, anything like that? Yeah,
we are building a community of people who think differently, because the normal thing to do is to be broken in debt, and that's just the unfortunate fact. So we're building a community of people who think differently, and the extent to which I keep learning personally as the one who's leading, and my wife who are leading these people, I will continue to be able to pour into our community. And what does that really look like, right? We have Facebook group, we are always available to you. Just because the 90 days, the 12 weeks run out doesn't mean that I don't care if you're successful or not. This is
right.
We didn't make this class to have as many people in it as possible. We made the class to have a platform to be able to help people live their ideal life. That's what it is. And unfortunately, because the way we build our society is based on dollars.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like a big circle. You fix the circle, right? You're like, have a bad relationship with money. So you do bad things with money. You don't get your dreams. You get mad.
Yeah.
Get sad. Ruins your friendships and your relationship with your spouse or whatever. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That what you're trying to accomplish. And it sounds like, I keep saying that, really rewarding. Obviously have a servant heart, which is pretty remarkable.
We were able to do, because we had a graduating class for the spring class. It was our first official one we did, the 3-month class. We had our graduating class come back and talk to our summer class, who are 6 brave individuals / couples that are currently going through our class. And then the people who had already taken it, we did a happy hour, like a virtual happy hour. And
oh my gosh.
I had them come back. I didn't want to talk much. I wanted them to talk and them to connect, right?
Yeah.
Because the people who are going through it together now have connected with each other, and then they've connected with the people who've done it already. So those people came back, and our new students just asked them questions. And I literally cried twice during this thing. It's ridiculous. Like, I had someone who I had been coaching, and she literally said, we would have not bought our house if it wasn't for Bruce and Jacqueline. Like, we would have not been able to buy, and they're a family of 5. And so
wow.
we worked with them, and we sat with them, and we walked through this with them,
right,
to lead them to money mastery, as we say. And literally to hear, we wouldn't have a house, we wouldn't have been able to buy our house if it hadn't been for this. That's literally why we're doing it.
So amazing. So you do it via Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
People are coming from all over the U.S. What time of day are you doing this? Because I'm assuming it's live and not taped. But I did make an assumption.
Yeah, so there's two so we're still talking about the full class. There is an online only version which we can touch on that.
Okay, please.
That people who don't want the accountability can do. But the way it is the one-on-one meetings you get to schedule with your availability no matter where you are. So what we do is we have a tool that does it. It's called Calendly. I'm sure
love it.
Most viewers know about it. Yeah, I know you use it. So people can book these one-on-one meetings with our available window with their time that they are convenient. Those are the one-on-ones, and then the group classes are scheduled. So they're normally in the evening from anywhere from 6 to 9 p.m.
Okay.
And there's some variability in there depending on how long the class is. But if you unfortunately miss, we record it and it's available to you forever. Like all the content that you get in the class, you'll have available to you forever. And like I said, we're building a community. The relationship doesn't end when you're done. Every new thing that we create, which there's lots coming, you'll get. So it doesn't it's not the class is over, so we're done working with you. That's not how it is. It's not like
peace out, 90 days are over.
No. This is you're joining a platform for life.
Okay.
Whatever we make, whatever we provide, you'll have access to always.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question we've never talked about. I don't know what you're going to do when I ask you this, but I feel like you should write a book. Are you going to write a book?
It's not on the radar right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you should write a book.
What would you want to read in my book?
I would want to read the stories. You have to change your names or get permission or whatever.
Of the people.
Yeah, of the change you've made, of the impact, because this is very impactful. And I think that, first of all, your story's pretty phenomenal, right? But stories of the people you're literally changing lives in 90 days. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I think that, some people will never sign up for a class because they can't.
Yeah.
For limiting belief reasons, right? They don't have the time, which is a limiting belief. If you say you don't have time for something, it's because it's not important to you. But that's for another day. But I think that the book could be really great. I love reading, so this is for selfish reasons. I'll be honest, I read all the time. Let me back up. I listen to books all the time. I always have two books going. I have a book.
Yeah.
And a one I listen to.
That's good. I need to get better about that. But no, this is a challenge I need you to hold me accountable to over time.
Oh, wow.
Because I think that's a really good use of this information. And then think about how many people that could reach too.
No, absolutely. I think that it would just be really an amazing opportunity for other people. And it might lead to people taking more of the classes. And it might not. I have no idea. It wasn't really my intention. Sure. I just think that things in print are different than things verbally, and that might, even if one person gets one piece of nugget from that book and it changes their life, it's pretty amazing. I mean, the same thing I tell the agents, that there's all these professional development books on your mindset, on language of sales and how to talk to people. And I'm like, that person spent a lot of time and money, a lot more than $20 to buy the book. So when possible, buy a book to learn. It can be really amazing. Really amazing.
Well, what I can confidently tell you is we're just getting started.
Okay, well, listen, I'm excited to be a part of your journey. I'm excited to be the one to invite you to write a book, to hold you accountable.
Yes, I need it.
I've never met your wife, and hopefully she won't be mad at me that I just put more things on your table.
Sorry, Jacqueline.
Sorry, I don't know you. I might owe you a drink.
Or two. So I know we have not that much time left, but so what I did want to talk about the online only version too.
Okay, please.
So the full, I'm not going to quote pricing because it could change over time, but we have the full month, 3-month mastery course, like I said, 90 days. And then we have the online only. So if you want to join and you don't want the one-on-one accountability, we have the same content that's available with the recorded classes available online.
Got it.
So you can go to our website, alignmoneymastery.com, and you can link it in the show notes and have it available for your listeners.
Yeah, we will for sure.
And you can go there and learn about us, learn about the program, and hear from people who have taken it, right?
Yeah.
And this is a mission-based pursuit here because we care about helping people live their ideal life on their terms, by the way. And unfortunately, what ends up happening is a lot of people spend their whole lives trading time for money. And never exit that. And then if you're really trading, sort of like last episode we talked about the time equals money equation, please go back and look at that. But if you never get out of that cycle, you can never really spend your time how you want.
Right.
And we are helping people escape and get out to of the workforce so they can live their life the way they want.
Oh my gosh, I just love it. Listen, if this speaks to you, if you're struggling with money, maybe because you have too much and you don't know what to do with it, which seems like a really good problem to have, or perhaps you are in a bad place and you're looking to make it better, you got to reach out to this guy. Some really powerful, impactful stuff, and look forward to his book. Sign up for his class. Thank you, Bruce, so much for coming on again. I think we might have to have you on again, really to hold you accountable.
Yes, please do.
Thanks so much for joining us at the Elevate With Us podcast. Look forward to hearing from all you guys soon.